Hello and welcome back to the Great British Bake Off. I'm Angela from Cake Angel, and if this is your first time on my channel, thanks for being here. Make sure you check out the rest of my playlist to see other technical bakes that I've done from this season of the Great British Bake Off. So this week is German week, week 5 of the Bake Off. We're halfway through and it's been so great so far. Let's take a look and see what we're doing this week.
It is German week and it's your signature challenge, and the judges would love you to make 2 batches of 12 German biscuits.
So this week I'm going to take on George's version of the cherry marzipan biscuits. I'm going to put my own little spin on it, so let's see how they turn out. So the contestants had 2 hours and 15 minutes to do their signature bake this week, and they had 2 different varieties of biscuits that they needed to make. We're just doing one for this though, so it's not going to take anywhere near as long to make that. The first thing we're going to do for George's marzipan biscuits is make the marzipan. This is so simple, and if you love marzipan as much as I do, you'll probably find yourself making this quite often because it really is easy. So we've got our ingredients. I will pop the recipe in the description for you so you can get all the quantities for that as well. This is a dairy-free recipe based on some of the ingredient changes that I've made. And what you're essentially doing is combining your almond flour, some sugar, icing sugar, vanilla bean paste, and 1 egg, and you're going to bring it together until it forms a sort of sticky paste. Now don't worry that it may not look like marzipan that you find in the store. This is actually going to be going into the cookie, so it isn't going to look exactly the same. So that's come together really quickly. I'm going to scrape down my bowl and clean everything off. Then we're going to transfer it to the surface and knead it.
Need to keep moving.
For their second batch, the bakers have all chosen almond-based biscuits.
This is actually very simple to make because it's just a paste of almonds, sugar and egg white.
So because this is quite sticky, you're going to just need to sprinkle some icing sugar on your surface before you start to knead it. And don't be afraid to add more if you need to, if you feel that it is just being a little bit too sticky for you. And it was actually raining when I made this, so it was quite humid in my kitchen, and I did need to add quite a bit more icing sugar to it, just to take that stickiness away from it. Then you just want to roll it back and forth, form a shape with it, and wrap it in some cling film and pop it in the fridge until you need it later on. So now we're going to move on to making the actual marzipan biscuits, and this is very similar to a shortbread type of recipe. I've made this dairy-free by using a plant-based butter. Other than that, all the ingredients are exactly the same. So I'm adding my butter and my sugar and I'm creaming that together. You want to go ahead and mix that on a medium speed as well for 3 to 5 minutes until it's pale and creamy. And whilst it's doing that, go ahead and beat together your eggs and your extra egg yolk as well. And then we're going to start adding our marzipan to it. So you're just taking a small quantity of the marzipan that we made earlier, and then you're adding small pinches to the cookie dough so that it just starts to incorporate it together. It's going to give it that really nice almondy flavour as well. Then you're going to add in your egg a little at a time because you don't want your mix to get too sloppy too quickly. And if you feel that you need to, go ahead and stop your mixer, scrape down the bowl, make sure everything is getting nice and combined, and then carry on with the process of just adding the rest of your ingredients. So that's all of our egg done. Next I'm adding a pinch of salt, I'm adding some vanilla bean paste. I'm going to scrape down my bowl again. You can see at this stage the mix is actually really wet as well. And then I'm going to sieve in my flour and my corn flour. So this is what gives it more of that shortbready consistency that I mentioned earlier. Then on a very low speed, so on stir setting for your stand mixer, you just want to go ahead and mix it until everything is fully incorporated. And you can see straight away how wet this mix is. It is starting to run a little bit off of the beater of the bowl already. So this isn't going to be your traditional cookie dough that you would roll and cut. Instead, we're going to be piping our cookies this time. And to pipe the biscuits, I'm just using a standard round tip. This is a tip 12 by Wilton. I'll pop the link in the descriptions for this so you can buy one off of Amazon. I'm using a tipless bag for it as well, which you can also purchase. And then you're just going to add some of your biscuit mix into it. I prefer not to overfill my bag because that just puts a little bit too much pressure on your wrist when you're piping. and then you just hold your bag still at a 90-degree angle, slightly raised above the surface, and pipe until you get the size that you desire. Now these will spread ever so slightly, so make sure you leave a gap between them, and if you've got any peaks on them you can tap them down if you want to, but they will flatten off as the mixture bakes down in the oven. You get quite a lot of mix from this recipe as well, and I actually ended up making multiple trays more of these than the recipe suggested you would make. So don't be afraid if you think that you've got an awful lot of mix left. Just get more trays and keep going until you've filled them all up. You also want to make sure that you have preheated your oven to 340 degrees Fahrenheit or 170 degrees if you bake it in Celsius, so that your oven will be ready for you to put them in as soon as you finish piping them. Then you want to bake them for 15 to 20 minutes until golden brown. And our biscuits are ready. You can see they've got a nice golden brown edge to them, nice and brown underneath as well. So I'm just going to set them aside and let them cool fully before we go ahead and fill them.
The bakers have a small window of opportunity to prepare any jams or fillings for their biscuits.
What are you doing now?
Well, I'm just going to measure out some jam and then mix it in with the marzipan.
That sounds like baking to me.
Yeah,
That
bacon.
sounds like German baking.
Yeah, proper German bacon, man.
Come on.
Yeah.
You've got this. Not as much as Jürgen, but you have got it.
Okay, so full disclosure here, I actually cheated and decided to use a store-bought jam for this, and I decided to use raspberry instead of the cherry jam that George actually made in the show. So you could use whatever flavour of jam you like. You could even put buttercream in them as well. I think they would be really, really nice with a little bit of jam and a little bit of buttercream in them. And all I'm doing is adding a little dollop in the middle of one, and then pop in another one of the same size on top, and there you go, that's your biscuits done. But we do have one last thing just to make them extra fancy. I've melted some chocolate in the microwave, and then you just want to pop some in a tipless bag, run it back and forth, and make a nice design on them. Perfect.
Bakers, your time is up.
Okay, so it's the most exciting time of the challenge for us now, and we get to taste them. Thank you for sticking around this long as well. Let me know in the comments what you think of this recipe and technique, and also if you're going to try it. Now I can't wait to try them. Let's see. Okay, so everything is nice and cool. They've come out really nicely. They are not too firm of a biscuit or cookie as we call them in North America. They are a little bit soft still in the middle, so let's dive in. Okay, I'm going to show you a close-up of this so you can see inside. So as I explained earlier, I actually switched out the filling for this and put a raspberry jam instead. And that tartness of the jam goes really, really well with the flavour of the biscuit, and also the dark chocolate that we used as well. These are really, really good. I think I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea and finish them off. So thank you so much for watching. Again, if you're new to my channel, I'm Angela. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date with the rest of my videos. Next week is pastry week. So I'm a little bit nervous about that one, but I'm also excited to see what we're going to do, and I will see you then. Have a great week. Bye.